SpaceX company founded by Elon Musk launched 4 civilians into space on Wednesday, September 15th. The civilians were launched into space on a reusable Falcon 9 rocket, planning to orbit space for 3 days, then re-entering the atmosphere and landing in the Atlantic Ocean. 8th grade science teacher Mrs. Perez says she is surprised to hear that it will be an all-civilian crew going into space instead of astronauts.
I think definitely in our lifetime we might see a colonization of the moon first. I think we're going to see a lot more vacations like this past one where people are going to pay money just to orbit the Earth.
With the program, that has always been kind of the intention with his program. He's been trying to get civilians to have that opportunity to be able to afford to go into space, and it was successful. They launched, they went up there, they stayed for only a short amount of time, and then they landed in the Atlantic Ocean.
The journey was paid for by 38-year-old tech entrepreneur Jared Isaacman, who was also the mission commander. Jared Isaacman donated an estimated amount of $100 million to SpaceX, which was then donated to St. Jude. Jared also took 3 of his coworkers, 29-year-old physician assistant Haley Arsenal, a 29-year-old physician assistant Cyan Proctor, and 42-year-old aerospace data engineer Chris Szymborski to space with him.
You have people like Elon Musk being able to have the funds that to contribute to programs like this. And so you've got money, you've got sponsors, you've got billionaire sponsors, you've got people in the upper echelon, I should say, that are willing to fund these types of programs.
When you think of people who travel to space, you generally think of trained astronauts who have spent at least a decade preparing for this moment. For the first time, regular people like you and me have traveled to space. What does this mean for the future? Will vacations to the moon become normal? Will we colonize space? Only time will tell.
The more people that do this, even if they're millionaires, if they can look back on Earth and see how beautiful it is, that maybe more and more people will want to protect it.
Everything in the expedition went to plan. The civilians were launched into space Wednesday night, September 15th, and went into orbit around the Earth for 3 days.
I heard they were watching movies, but the most interesting thing is there's this thing called the cupola, which is this big window in space, and they said that was the best thing, watching Earth from space.
They then successfully landed on Sunday, September 19th, splashing down in the Atlantic. The civilians had an unforgettable experience, getting to be part of a fundraiser for St. Jude, helping an experiment about the effects of space on the human body, as well as making history, and getting an experience very few people have gotten the chance to have. For WSMS News, I'm Reagan.
I'm Margaret Meehlhause.
And I'm Caitlin Miller.